What if the thing holding you back isn't your skill, your timing, or your circumstances, but the simple fact that you haven't taken the first step yet? Welcome back to English Unleashed Lab, the place where your English grows stronger every single time you listen. Whether you're studying for IELTS, TOEFL, or simply building the confidence to speak English in the real world, this episode was made for you. I'm your host, and I'm genuinely excited about today's lesson because we're going to do something powerful. We're going to improve your listening, sharpen your vocabulary, and at the same time, give you a mindset shift that might change how you approach your goals. Today's episode is built around two original wisdom stories. The first is called The Rope Bridge and the Fog, and the second is called The Farmer Who Couldn't Wait. These stories are layered with meaning, packed with advanced vocabulary, and designed to stay with you long after the episode ends. And trust me, the second story contains a realization that stopped me in my tracks when I first heard it. Stay with me. Here's your 3-step listening method. Step 1. Listen all the way through the first time without pausing. Let the story flow over you and focus purely on the big picture. Step 2. Play it again, and this time, pay attention to the and specific words, phrases, and sentence structures. Step 3. After listening, say key sentences out loud. Repetition builds fluency. Say it until it sounds natural. And one more thing. Don't just consume this content. Let it connect with you. Ask yourself, where does this story touch my own life? Real language learning isn't memorization. It's meaning. Are you ready? Let's go. Story 1. The rope bridge and the fog. Marcus had always been a careful man. He researched before deciding, planned before acting, and thought through every angle before committing. People admired his patience, but underneath that patience, there was something else. A quiet, persistent fear of being wrong. He had chances to move forward in his career. He had offers, opportunities, moments where the path forward was clear. But each time one appeared, he found a reason to pause. Not quite the right moment. Let me think a little more. What if something goes wrong? And so the opportunities passed, one by one, like boats leaving a harbor he never walked toward. One season, Marcus went hiking in a remote area. Deep into the trail, he reached a rope bridge suspended over a wide gorge. Below him, a river rushed through the rocks. Ahead, the trail continued through the trees, but only across that bridge. He stopped. He gripped the railing and looked down. The bridge swayed slightly in the wind. He tested one plank with his foot. It felt solid, but he pulled back. He stood there for 20 minutes, then 40. He studied the knots. He measured the distance with his eyes. He imagined the worst. Then, a woman appeared from the other side, older, calm, carrying a heavy pack. She stepped onto the bridge without breaking her stride and crossed steadily, plank by plank, until she stood beside him. "There's nothing wrong with the bridge," she said. "I just wanted to be sure," Marcus replied. She looked at him with kind, steady eyes. "Certainty isn't something you find before you cross," she said. "It's something the crossing gives you." Marcus felt those words land somewhere deep. She continued walking. He looked at the bridge again. The same planks, the same rope, the same drop below. But something had shifted. He placed his right foot forward, then his left. The bridge swayed. His heart raced. But the bridge held, step after step, each one building something inside him, Confidence. Not borrowed confidence, earned confidence. You don't find courage before the step. You find it because of it. When Marcus reached the other side, he turned and looked back at the bridge. It looked smaller now, less threatening. He realized something that would stay with him for years. The bridge had never been the obstacle. His unwillingness to test it had been. So I want to ask you, and take a real moment here, where are you standing still right now? What bridge in your own life are you studying from a distance, waiting for a certainty that only the crossing can give you? Is it starting a new course? Speaking English in a conversation? Applying for that job or that program abroad? Comment your answer if you feel comfortable. Putting it into words is the first step. Story 2. The farmer who couldn't wait. Elena had enormous energy for starting things. Give her a new idea and her eyes would light up. Hand her a challenge and she'd dive in head first. She was creative, passionate, and full of ambition. But there was a pattern she hadn't yet noticed. Every new beginning started the same way. Excitement, planning, early effort. But then, slowly, something would change. If results didn't come fast enough, her interest faded. If progress felt invisible, she lost faith. If a setback arrived, she moved on. She had a graveyard of unfinished things, half-written notebooks, abandoned apps, lessons started and stopped, goals set and shelved. She thought this meant she lacked talent. She was wrong. One weekend, Elena visited her uncle's farm. She noticed an area of the garden that looked bare, just flat, undisturbed soil. "Nothing growing there?" she asked. Her uncle smiled slowly. "Something is growing there," he said. "You just can't see it yet." Elena looked confused. "How long has it been planted?" 3 weeks, her uncle replied, kneeling beside the soil. "But last season, I had a different patch. I planted seeds, and 2 days later, I couldn't see anything, so I pulled them up to check." Elena blinked. "You dug them up?" "I did," he said quietly. And of course, nothing had formed yet. I'd interrupted the one thing seeds need most. "Time," she said. "Growth doesn't announce itself. It works in silence, beneath the surface, before you ever see it." Her uncle nodded. "Most people quit just before the breakthrough. Not because they're weak, because growth is invisible until suddenly it isn't." Elena sat with that thought for a long time. She thought about her English practice. How she'd studied for 3 weeks, felt like she wasn't improving, and stopped. She thought about the online course she'd quit in week 2. She thought about all the seeds she'd planted, and then dug up just before they were about to change everything. That afternoon, she made one decision. She would stay. Not because she could see results. Not because she felt motivated, but because she finally understood that consistency isn't about feeling like it. It's about trusting the process even when the process feels invisible. She went home and reopened the course. She pressed play on the next lesson. She wrote one new sentence in her journal. Just one. But she stayed. And that's the invitation for you today. Where have you walked away too soon? Maybe with English. Maybe with a skill you're building. Maybe with something you deeply want, but haven't given the time it truly needs. What would change if you stayed just a little longer? Let's close with 6 vocabulary words drawn from today's stories. Word 1. Hesitation. This means a pause caused by uncertainty or doubt. His hesitation cost him the opportunity. Word 2. Gorge. A narrow, steep-sided valley or ravine, often with a river at the bottom. She stood at the edge of the gorge and felt dizzy. Word 3. Persistent. Continuing steadily despite difficulty or resistance. Her persistent effort finally paid off. Word 4. Ambition. A strong desire to achieve something significant. He had ambition, but he needed to pair it with patience. Word 5. Invisible. Impossible to see, hidden from view. Her progress was invisible to others, but she knew it was real. Word 6. Breakthrough. A sudden, significant achievement after a period of effort. The breakthrough came after months of silent work. Try using 2 of these words in your own sentences today. Write them in the comments. It will accelerate your learning faster than you think. And before we close, if this episode gave you value, if one line landed differently for you today, please give it a like. It takes 1 second, and it genuinely helps English Unleashed. Lab reach more learners just like you. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. This is English Unleashed Lab. I'll see you in the next one.